Hi everyone, my name is Vish and this is Simply Vish. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's been top of mind for me in June, and that is moving. So I'm moving out of my apartment in the East Village, and during this time in New York City, it's definitely been really different than other times I've moved in New York. So I wanted to talk through, my process of finding an apartment, logistics of moving during this time, some of the things that I've kept in mind, and any kind of like tips and tricks that I have. Hopefully this video is helpful if any of you guys are planning to move or are thinking about moving right now. It's definitely a renter's market. So let me know if you have any questions below. Please like, and let's get started. The reason why I'm moving is because my lease ends at the end of June. I wanted to stay in New York City for some time. My family's close by, I have a lot of friends here, and I'm not sure what my next move is. So I wanted to find, first off, a short-term lease and also my own space. I wanted to get a studio or a one-bedroom. So those are the main reasons why I decided to move. What I was looking for. So as I mentioned, I was looking for, either a one bedroom or a studio, but along with that, things that were important to me was finding a pet-friendly place, finding a place that was within Manhattan. I didn't really want to go into any of the other boroughs just because all my friends live within Manhattan and I also work in Manhattan. So I think overall it would have just been a better situation there. And then I also wanted a place that has newer appliances. I cook a lot, so having like a new stove and a dishwasher and not having to worry about that was really important to me. Aside from that, nothing was really top of mind for me. So I kind of went into trying to find an apartment that fit. To start off, I knew that using a website like Street Easy wouldn't really work because majority of rental options right now are for 1 year. So I knew I would have to find a sublease, and the best way to do that, at least from my past experience, has been through Facebook groups or through different roommate websites. So I made a profile for 2 roommate websites. The ones I used were Digs and Roomy, and I created a profile, matched with a few people, and then I also posted on multiple different Facebook groups that I was a part of. The reason why I used multiple different options is because the rental market and the roommate market in New York City is super competitive and always changing. And what I mean by that is you could be talking to a potential roommate one day and then they completely ghost you the next day. And that always happens. And it's something not to really be surprised about, just because that's kind of, I guess, the New York mentality. You snooze, you lose. So even in the rental market, like, people are ready with their applications the day of, ready to put their deposit down and everything. So keep your options open until you sign a document. That's what I feel. So I was matching with potential roommates, talking to people. I was looking at posts on Facebook, and then I realized there were just a lot of different people posting sublease options. And I realized so many people are moving out of New York City right now. And I think it's because they're concerned about having to be quarantined again. A lot of people are moving home just in case the virus comes back in the fall. I had a lot of things to kind of scroll through, and I thought, why not make a post? So I posted on each of those groups instead of just kind of scrolling through to see the subleasing options. And when I posted on those groups, I actually had so many people reach out to me. I think I had between 15 to 20 different people reach out to me with pictures and details about their sublease. And a lot of people had roommates, and in the end of the day, that was not something that I was totally for, but I definitely checked out some places that had roommates. I scoped them out a little bit. Then I also saw a place in the East Village, which was a 2-bedroom, and I got really excited about that, but it was a lot smaller than it seemed on pictures. So definitely don't just go based off of a video or a picture. I would recommend still going to see the place. Just wear, a mask and wear gloves to make sure that you're safe. But definitely go to check it out, because I saw, my mattress wouldn't even fit in one of the rooms. And then I saw this one building that was actually from a post that I saw in one of the groups, and I absolutely fell in love with the apartment. It was wonderful, and it had in-unit laundry, which was amazing. Because most New York City apartments don't even have in-building laundry. Like some places you have to kind of go down, take your laundry, walk down your stairs, go down the street, drop it off. That's the situation I'm in right now. So having an in-unit laundry was amazing. It's a big bathroom, big, wonderful kitchen. It's a studio. It just checked off all of my boxes. So I ended up going with that one, which I'm really excited for. And I'll give you guys like a whole tour, and like I'll show you guys that whole move-in process for me. But yeah, I'm really excited to move there. And before actually signing the lease, before actually finalizing everything, what I did was I reviewed my budget. So that's like the best next move, because there are a lot of things that go into signing a place in New York City. So when you sign a place, there are a lot of different costs associated to it. The first one, especially if you're doing a 1-year lease, is a broker fee. And that could be up to 15% of your whole year's rental cost. So that can add up. So budgeting for that's really important. Budgeting, if you're doing a 1-year lease, budgeting for first month's rent and a security deposit is really important. Then for me, there are a lot of places that have either like a pet deposit or a pet fee. So I have to budget for that. And then also utilities. A lot of places in New York City actually cover some of the utilities. So maybe one will cover heat, maybe one will cover Wi-Fi, but understanding what's being covered is really important. This apartment was great because utilities was included in the overall cost that I negotiated, which is so much easier because it's a short-term lease, you know, not having to worry about creating a Con Ed account or creating a new Wi-Fi account. It's just so much easier. So something also to keep in mind is that because it's a renter's market, I would totally recommend negotiating. So some things that I negotiated or I talked about that were really important to me was having the flexibility to go month to month after a certain date. Also having certain utilities included. Something that was offered to me, which was really strange, was this one guy reached out about a studio that he had, and he was really trying to find a sublease, but I didn't really like his kitchen. Like I mentioned before, having like a modern kitchen with new appliances was really important, and his kitchen just had 2 burners. And I told him, you know, I'm really looking for a bigger kitchen, so this isn't really gonna work. And he was like, I could even buy you 2 additional burners if that would make a difference. So definitely state what you want and you'll get it, for sure. And be very clear and detailed when you can, and that way it avoids any confusion. So in my current lease, it briefly mentioned my dog, and I was concerned that that might present issues with the owner. So I told the tenant who actually lives there and is subleasing to me to confirm, and she actually reached out to the owner, and the owner said that there is a pet fee. So I wouldn't have known that. It may have caused issues if we didn't reach out beforehand. So make sure that you're thorough, make sure that you read through the lease, and that you know, you're covered in terms of your sublease. Having a sublease is really important. So make sure you're covered and that you know what you have to pay for, and that you're not unknowingly being the new signee for the lease for a longer term than you wanted, or you're unknowingly going to have different additional fees attached to your rent. Also understanding moving costs, because some places, you know, you're gonna need help to move, some places you're not gonna need help to move. In my situation, I definitely do. I live in a 4th floor walk up, so having moving help is really important because I don't think I can pull down my queen size mattress on my own. So budgeting for movers, budgeting for boxes, and the U-Haul in my case were all really important as well. So I created a budget. I know how much I have to put down up front, and I'm ready for that, and I can cover that. And then last thing, you can also have a key deposit. So some places want you to put money down for your key in case you lose it, you lose your deposit. So another thing to budget for. After doing all of the budget, making sure that I can meet all of the needs, and reading through the lease, I'm ready to sign. I signed it and I'm ready to go. So really excited about the move, really excited about this whole process. But before, any of the moving actually happens, I'm going to be packing a lot of my stuff this weekend and next weekend. And I've reached out to the moving company I'm working with to make sure that the movers are wearing protective gear. So like wearing a mask, wearing gloves, because I don't want to risk potentially getting the virus. And then, aside from that, hopefully everything goes smoothly. I'll keep you guys updated, but please comment below if you have any tips or any ideas about, moving in New York during this time. Or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I hope all of you find ways to find happiness every day. Thanks so much for joining.